Hello gamers! How are we doing today? So, you came here to look for the add-ons that I use for the Zone Lock Challenge. I'm really happy for you. Well, you came to the right spot. And here I'm going to go over many things like the ATT setup, other add-ons I use, and what's useful and what really isn't useful for those add-ons. I really don't have anything else to say here, so why don't we just get straight into it? Yes. So, the add-on that the entire challenge is focused around, and the add-on that I get requested the most on how to set up, is All the Things. This add-on right here. There's a lot of settings to it, so it's really understandable why people are confused and how to set it up. But this one is going to go over my Zone Locked Challenge settings, right? This isn't for everyday stuff. This is strictly what I'm using for Zone Locked, and I'll explain each one individually. But let's just get into it. But this is Monk Completionist mode. You can click down the arrow, figure out what that really means, but this is the main part of it. First things first, make sure debug mode is checked off. Make sure account mode is checked off. Loot mode is checked off. These will just add a lot of things that just won't work for what I'm doing, so I have them turned off. Lastly, show repeatable tracking things, show completed groups, and show collected things are turned off, so that way when I get something in ATT, it goes away, and we can have a full zone that's completed instead of like, hey, you got it, but it still shows it. If you want them on, turn them on. If not, don't worry about them. First thing here is the account-wide things. These are very self-explanatory. I have appearances turned on, so that way I can unlock appearances of different armor that I have or different weapons. And I have sources turned on, so I'm going to go for sources. If you don't know what a source is, let's take a generic sword. Say it can drop from a rare mob, it could drop from a dungeon boss, and it could drop as a world drop green. Each one of them share an appearance, so that is a source for the appearance. So I'm farming out all the different items. Even if I already have that appearance already, I'm farming out the different ways of collecting that appearance. That's what sources are. I have heirlooms in here. I don't have upgrades turned on because I just can't be bothered upgrading them right now. But this shows all the different heirlooms that you can unlock. This one will show different heirlooms that I am missing. We'll get to there probably in BFA. That's where a lot of them are. And we'll see the different heirlooms. Illusions, mounts, pet battles, toy box, campsites, and decor are all pretty self-explanatory of what they are and what we're farming. They're there. That's it. General things. Achievements are turned on. I'm tracking them account-wide and on my entire account for ATT. If I'm in a zone and it has an achievement that I am missing, it will show up there as an achievement that I need to get. Character unlocks are turned off because I don't have different hex variants or polymorph variants or warlock pets or druid forms. Monks don't have that. I didn't worry about it. Turned off. Exploration is just about exploring the zone. I have it turned off. Flight pass. I don't care about collecting flight pass. They're there. Turned off. Quests are very interesting. This will show you all the different quests that you have not done. Normally, I should be doing them, but I don't. I only go for quests that I am missing transmog appearances on, and they will show up by default. We don't need to worry about that. This will just show you any quests that you just don't have done on your account. I'm going to be doing that on other characters, not on collect, so we're not worried about that one. I have that turned off. Recipes. Recipes are very special in this. One, collect is not really going for them. I'm not. He's not doing professions. If I get a recipe, awesome. The reason why I have this turned on is when I get a recipe to drop and I don't know if I have it on my account or for another character, this allows me to track that. That's all this is for. Reps, I want you to reach Exalted or Best Friend for that reputation, whatever it is. Not doing it. I'm not really doing reputations on this challenge as I have them pretty much exalted on my account already, so I'm just not tracking them. Titles, pretty self-explanatory. It's for the title. Profession nodes, I'm pretty sure these profession nodes are for the newer crafting from Dragonflight and newer. One, collect is not doing professions. Two, I am so far away from Dragonflight, it's just not even worth me having on right now. I might change it in the future, but for now, it's turned off. These settings over here, over in general content, these are pretty important. BOE Warband items. This one is very, very important. Do we remember in all of Classic how I had all these zone drops from certain dungeons that I grinded for hours and hours and hours to get? This setting right here shows you these items. This is what says, hey, you can get a Shadow Blade inside Shadowfang Keep. Oh, hey, you can get the Pendulum of Doom in Alderaan. Or you can get the Hotshot Pilot Gloves in Nomergon. That's this setting. So if you want to go for those zone drops like I did in those dungeons, make sure this is turned on. I turned on the node level restriction so that way I can see everything inside of an area. Say there is a quest that gives you a bow and you're a mage, or a plate helmet and you're a hunter or whatever. This will show you all rewards, even though they're not on your personal loot table, so you know what quest to go for and what exactly are the rewards, like how many you're going to get, where they come from, what you're looking for. Make sure this is turned on. Seasonal events are turned off. They will show up automatically within 7 days. It says so right there. So I don't need to have this turned on. That way I don't have to see all seasonal stuff throughout the year. It's only the ones when that event is going on. Pet battles. It's pet battles. Pretty self-explanatory. PvP is turned off. Collect is locked at a certain level. PvP isn't going on. I can't PvP. No one's in the locked level brackets. I have that turned off because I really just can't PvP on Collect. Lastly, skywriting. There's nothing really to it, so I just have it turned off. Expansion things, I have them completely turned off. I don't have any way of getting followers at the moment. I can't see Azerite essences. I can't see conduits, rune carvings, mount modifications aren't really worth the time. I have them all turned off. When I get to later expansions that have these, I might turn them back on, but that's a big we'll see moment. But for now, I have them all turned off. Underneath general, we have the filters. This is very important. This allows you to see things that you might not normally be able to see on your class. Everything in here that is blue is what you would normally see as a monk. Everything that has the white icons, or the white lettering, are things you normally wouldn't be able to see. This way, Kala could see two-handed axes, two-handed swords, daggers, warglaives, bows, in his thing for me to farm into certain dungeons or quests or rares, whatever. That way I can see them and actually farm for them. Everything in here that I have turned off, which is thrown weapons, artifacts, relics, profession equipment, miscellaneous, neck, finger, trinket, bag, consumables, and quest items, are things that don't have appearances tied to them. I don't want to farm them if I'm not getting like an appearance or a transmog out of it. I have them turned off. I don't touch them. Next is expansion filters. Just turn these all on. All right, just turn all of these on. Don't worry about it. Just make sure they're always turned on. Let them go. Just don't worry about them. Turn them on. Unobtainables are all turned off. I don't want to look at things that I physically can't get or would never be able to obtain. So they're just completely turned off. Don't worry about them. Next is the interface. I don't think I touched much in here except for one thing, and that is the tooltip integrations. These should be turned on. It's like when you're looking at a boss and then in your tooltip, it shows like the 7 items that you're missing from him. That's what this does. But I'm someone that doesn't like having that in combat. It's really cluttery. I don't like it. So I have a modifier that's on instead, which is control. I hit control, I hold control and then hover over the boss again. It will show me everything. When control's not being held, it's just a normal tooltip. It's a lot cleaner. I like that. Everything else, I think I left on by default. Completed by, known by, are good for other characters on your accounts. Like hey, this character did this quest already, or this character has a recipe. Especially if you want to do the recipe checking, make sure known by is on. Other than that, I think I have not really touched much of any of this. So I'm just not going to worry about it. Accessibility, I have not touched. Don't worry about it. Fillers, I haven't really touched. I turned off certain things in the mini list, like reagents. I could turn cost off, but I have not really touched much of this either. However, information, there are a few things in here I want you to turn on in information that we're going to use for other add-ons or just general help. First one is going to be alive. Check mark this one. So when you hover over a like an NPC or something of that nature, it will tell you how long it's been alive. Why is that useful? Well, when hunting rares in TBC, knowing that a zone has been up or an NPC has been alive for, say, 3 hours lets me know, hey, this shard has been up for 3 hours. It's likely that a rare could spawn soon. It's super useful for that. The other one I want you to turn on is item ID. Make sure the item ID is turned on, because you're going to need this for another add-on that we're going to talk about here in a second. Just turn that on for now, okay? Also, with that, creature ID needs to be turned on. You will also be using this for an add-on later on. But this allowing you to do this was just going to save you a couple steps so you don't have to go to Wowhead and find stuff. All right? Lastly, we have features. I don't touch anything in here. You don't have to worry about it. That's pretty much everything for all the things. The rest I wouldn't worry about. The next add-on that I'm going to go over is Rarity. You know that little achievement pop-up when I get a certain item? That's Rarity that does that. Most of this, you don't need to worry about. The only thing you need to worry about is custom. because everything in here are items that I added for the different things in the zone. Because normally transmog isn't on here, it's just mounts, pets, and toys. So if you wanted to get something, you have to add it yourself. Now let's bring up ATT real quick. Here it is. Let's find a mob that I haven't done. Let's go to Pandaria, Jade Forest, Rare, and we'll go to Crack6, whatever this guy's name is, for the Needle Fang Throat Ripper. All right? I'm going to shift click in the Needle Fang Throat Ripper. I'm going to mess that name up 4 times before this is over. It's added into here. I'm going to go down to my rarity. It's at the bottom of the list. Method of obtaining. This is dropped from an NPC. Type of item. It's a toy or item. And here's the big thing. The item ID. That's why we turned it on in ATT. Hover over the tooltip here, and you'll see that the item ID 87646. So you would put that in here. That's why we got that. That's why I had you turn it on in ATT, so that way you knew what it was instead of having to go to Wowhead and get the ID. The other reason why I have that is because we need the NPC. If we remember the NPC here, the Crack6, whatever this guy's name is, Creature ID. We also turned that on in ATT for this exact same reason, to add this to Rarity. Putting it just like this, tracked like this, this is the default basic run-of-the-mill how you would do it. This makes it so that when you kill that rare, it will tell you you've killed it 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. Oh, congratulations, you got the item on your 18th try, and the achievement pops up. It tracks how many times you kill the mob. If you don't care about that, don't worry about the NPC ID. Just add the item ID and you're good to go. But that is Rarity. It's very easy to set up. That's all you have to do. The last little bit I want to go over is the different add-ons that I use for Zone Locked that are going to be super useful to you as well. I'm not going to go over every single add-on that I use, because some I use for myself, some I use for stream, some I use for making videos. But these are the ones that I want to recommend for you to use on your own if you're doing your own challenge. The first one is TomTom. Super, super useful add-on for figuring out coordinates, where rares are, where vendors are, and all that. But the best part is it's integrated with all the things. If we go back and look at this Crack6 fella, you know, the rare that we just did with Rarity, if I alt right click now, ATT will automatically put a marker where this rare spawns. Well, not ATT, TomTom puts the marker exactly where it spawns. So you'll know where it is. If I click all the rares in Pandaria and just alt right click, it marks every single one of them. TomTom does this straight from all the things. Super, super useful, very helpful. I recommend making sure you have TomTom installed. Even if you don't want it like this, you can get TomTom coordinates from Wowhead, and other ways to get different coordinates for things are. TomTom, very, 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 very useful. Another add-on that I would recommend is Can I Mog It? Can I Mog It? Very, very useful for a very quick glance at, do I need this item? Do I not need this item? It's when I look at my bags and I have a little X on the bag or a check mark on an item. That's Can I Mog It? Check mark. I already have it. Check mark with a circle. I have this appearance, but from a different source. X. I don't have this appearance at all. These will show up in your bags. These will show up on vendors. These will show up here in the dungeon journal. An easy way to show if you have an appearance, don't have an appearance, or just have the source for it. Another add-on that I find super, super useful is the Nova Instance Tracker. All right. This one allows you to track how many instances you're in. When do instances reset? How many lockouts do you have remaining? With someone like me who I'm running in and out of dungeons a lot, and when I'm down to like a boss or two, dungeons go pretty quickly. This allows me to track how many times I can do a dungeon left in an hour. When do they reset? When can I go back to them? With a very nifty interface, but it shows you like, oh, I did BWL 3 hours, 33 minutes ago. You can check other characters in your account and everything else. It's super useful for tracking your characters and your instances when you're doing farms. The last add-on that is useful is the Wowhead Looter add-on. I cannot go over enough on how useful this can be. Not because it's going to help you in the long. It's not going to help you right now. It doesn't do you anything in the game. What it does is it takes your data and sends it to Wowhead. If you kill a mob 70 times It's going to take those 70 kills, what you got from those 70 kills, and put it on the loot table of that mob on the site. Now, you might be asking yourself, why would I want that? Why does that matter? Because it makes the website more accurate. Blizzard does not tell us what something's drop rate is, where it comes from, or anything. They just say, have fun, there it is. Wowhead's data is all from users. The more we have, the more samples we get. The more samples we get, the more accurate it is on Wowhead. Wowhead Looter add-on, you can get it from Wowhead. That's the last one I would recommend for everything. Well, gamery dudes, that's the end of the video. I hope this is useful, and I hope it can help you with your own zone lock journeys. I'll have a link to all the add-ons down below, and all of them are found on CurseForge except for the Wowhead add-on, which you can get on Wowhead. This video is not something I normally do. It feels really weird to make it like this. It feels half-assed in a weird way, but I don't know what else to do. That's just a guide video, I guess. I don't know. I'm just not used to making these. But I appreciate you watching one way or the other. If you like it, subscribe. You know what it's like to be on YouTube, so do what you want. For now, I'm going to get out of here, and I'll see you all in the next one. Dokie? Dokie. Bye-bye.